all your school rugby, all in one place. This is NextGenXV.
Alright guys, welcome to NextGen15, and in today's video we are going to be looking at the final top 10 rankings for the South African schools for 2021. So if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to click that subscribe button as well as bell notification, and as soon as new videos are released you'll be the first to know. Now do please bear in mind that obviously there was not a lot of school rugby played this year, so we have done the best we can with the results we have. If you do feel that you agree with us, let us know in the comment section down below, and of course if you disagree with us, let us know what your top 10 would look like. But anyway, let's get into the list. In 10th place we have Marriageburg College. Now Marriageburg College are certainly a program on the rise. Historically the strongest school in the KZN region by country mile, the 21st century has seen a share of challenges, but this year the team achieved some exceptional results. Early season wins during the Fitchett Park Festival showed the team had potential, but nobody would have seen them completing a clean sweep of their local KZN rivals with tremendous victories over local powerhouses Hilton and Glenwood, although Glenwood did avenge their defeat a week late in what is a tight fixture. Leavers that you should keep an eye on include Royden Swift, Captain Corbin Thunder and Lock Daniel Water. With a large portion of the squad being made up of grade 11 talents, expect next year to be a bumper year, and watch out especially for the backline starlets, namely Span Ngopo, Liam Prinsloo and of course Lili Bester. Then at 9th place we have Janssen. Yancey's have over many years had teams with high potential that did not deliver. This year's team looked to buck that trend with some impressive performances. Known for their physicality, Yancey's married their forward dominance with slick backline play. Notable victories during the season were achieved over Ben Forster, Volcom Jim and Noordheuvel, with a heavy loss to Grey College, their only blemish as an under-19 group, although it must be said that many felt the score was not a true reflection of the game. Packed with some individually brilliant players, the players that we suggest you keep an eye out for include Bruiser Werner Groenewald, centre Keegan Balfour and fly-half Carl Bernardi. At 8th place we have Poor Roos. The Roos started off the year with a bang. It was not so much the score but their style of play that caught the eye, and a fantastic victory over local rivals Boyle and Landbou. The next fixture against Paul Jim was always going to be a tough one, but the team showed glimpses of brilliance. Now many a betting man would have surely expected a fairly easy win for them over Southern Suburb School Bishops, but they were stopped in their tracks by a well-drilled outfit. We believe that as the season went on, this Poorers team would have found their rhythm and was certainly top 10 quality. Players who we believe are capable of achieving great things in the future include Tristan van Dijk, Jared Africa, Jason Johnson, and of course centre Lonwabo Mfikili. In 7th place we have Otanikwa. Now what a year it has been for the Kwaggas, a team packed with potential who perhaps were just beginning to gel, only to lose momentum due to the situation. Their season began off with a rather stop-and-start win over Noordheuvel before showing significant improvement against Haltmekaar, where their final fixture win over Mariefielun, one of the outstanding rugby performances of the season in our opinion. The foundation, which as usual is built from a mammoth forward packs, with their tight five being one of the biggest in the country. The backline is extremely exciting, with the searing pace of Caston Michaels being complemented with outstanding centre combination of Simeon Oosthuizen and Johan Leonard ready to entertain. Next year's team looks exciting with an under-17 group that are among the best in the country, and players such as Patrick Itete ready to excite. In the 6th place we have Stellenberg. Now no doubt the surprise package of 2021, a team that has dazzled and shocked their way to victory, and a school which is building an outstanding rugby program. Keep a close eye on the Jade Brigade. The season started off with a bang with an outstanding win over Haltmekaar. Another victory over RTS Middelburg was impressive, but perhaps the performance of the season was their 1-point victory over Monument, a result that shocked the entire community. A loss to the highly gifted Oakdale team was the only blight in an otherwise exceptional season, and no doubt Stellenberg would have been capable of upsetting some of the power players in the country. Joshua Eras, Franco Roux and Joaquin Jacobs are a few players to keep your eyes on in the future and are capable of having great futures in the game, but special mention needs to be made of Damien Marcus. Damien is one of the best inside centres we have seen for many years. A difficult period led to him leaving RTS Middelburg and joining Stellenberg in his matric year, and his performances were consistently outstanding, being the heartbeat of the Stellenberg backline. Whichever team manages to secure this young talent signature will be getting a self-taught and raw talent that with elite coaching has every quality to become an international player within the next 5 years. And in 5th place we have Paul Boys. Now this year's Boys High team were on paper truly an exceptional outfit with up to 6 players capable of playing for the SA Schools team. Injuries to key players such as Hanno Wessels and Akim Kunene, two stalwarts of the backline, was of course concerned, but the depth available meant that many felt the team would come out on top ultimately. A season opener against a well-established Volcom gym team laid the marker, with Ruan Fente and Kompion von Ludwig showing their pedigree with outstanding performances. Noordheuvel were easily dispensed with. The scoreline of 79-7 was a fair reflection of the game, one feels. The final fixture against Monners resulted in a 34-18 win for the Pole outfit, and although the scoreline suggests an easy game, it certainly was not. A grudge match against Grey College was next on the menu. The boys are quietly confident. However, they were to encounter a Grey team that is hurting from a first loss in a few years and dominated the encounter, with the loss of Lock Kutsia LaRue being a particular sore point. A final win over Rondebosch in challenging conditions showed the team had some work to do, but one feels with the sheer quality and depth of their team meant that anything was possible as the season progressed. Other players to keep an eye on are elite prospects such as Luca Ribbons, Abu Ndambambi, Menno Barnard and Keegan Smith. In fourth place we have Bishops. Now, after a few years in the relative wilderness of Western Province rugby, the West Chetty inspired outfit are on their way back. Many felt the class of 2020 were generational, and missing out on their season was of course devastating to many, but the class of 2021 showed their own brilliance and were not too far off from the top three. Two early season wins over their southern suburbs rivals Wynberg and Sachs were impressive, with the team showing glimpses of brilliance, but nothing prepared anyone for the dismantling of Wynland's powerhouse Paul Rus. The result sent a message to all that this team was ready to take on all challenges. Their most recent win, a 50-10 victory over Rondebosch, showed that this team was only going to get better as the season progressed. A mobile and well-drilled forward pack were key, but the backline was perhaps what many would say one of the strongest in the country, and that's where their domination began and ended. Bruce Sherwood is certainly a name to remember. The rookie enjoyed an outstanding first year that culminated in him being selected for the SA Schools team, but special mention needs to be made of Imad Khan and Suleiman Hartzenberg. Khan was one of the surprises of the year, a real jack in the box. The scrummy is all over the field and involves himself in as much of the match as possible. Exceptional spatial awareness and ability to pass with a high degree of accuracy and a boot that is beyond his years, he has certainly laid the foundations for a very bright future in the game. Suleiman is a player who is truly something special. The first time we saw him play, we knew that this was a special kind of talent and that he was going to go all the way. Equally comfortable at centre or wing, the youngster combines speed, strength and agility that make him almost unplayable. Mature beyond his years with a level of humility and great support team around him, we do believe that he will be among the first of this year's group to achieve his Springbok colours. And in third place, we have Oakdale Landbou. There can only be one word to describe this year's team, and that is generational. Unlike many teams that have significant amounts of hype surrounding them with little return in results, this year's Oakdale team was everything we expected them to be and more. The season started off with what was expected to be a challenging Noordzee tournament where they were slated to face Affies and Gasfontein, two powerhouses of school rugby. It was not just the quality of play, it was the sheer confidence and domination in virtually all exchanges that impressed. This team was playing according to a structure and game plan we had not yet seen from any Oakdale team in the past, with big yet mobile forwards combining with a very pacey backline. Both Gasfontein and Affies had over 40 points put on the board against them before a Stellenberg team on a high and packed with quality was relatively easily beaten by 14 points. Their final fixture of the season, a 43-14 win over a Drosti team that had pushed Monument all the way, indicated this team was never in any danger of growing complacent. There are many players in this year's group that will go on to impress. Paul de Villiers is a flank with great heart and plays the game with a passion that complements his extremely high work rate. Dean Yennis is another player one feels will go very far. The powerful tight-headed son of the Sharks, and all signs indicate he'll be fast-tracked through the system there. Philip Kleinans was probably one of the unluckiest players this year. Had the season gone on, one feels that mega offers would have come his way. No doubt he was the form 8th man at the start of the season and possesses some extraordinary skills for a man of his size. Last and certainly not least, Neil LaRue looks to be the very definition of a prodigy. The way he managed and controlled the flow of the game was a sight to behold, and the pre-season hype around him was more than justified, and one feels that this will not be the last we hear of him. And in second place, we have Grey College. It certainly feels strange doing a list like this not having Grey named as the number one school. We have done this for the last 3 years, but staying at the top is always the hardest part. The only loss of the season was against a very motivated Pole Gym outfit, and they bounced back immediately with a comprehensive victory over Pole boys that I think nobody saw coming. Two big wins over Menlo Park and Janssen further cements their position at number 2, and coach Yanni Galdenaes can certainly be proud of the achievements of his young Chargers, particularly in such a turbulent year. As always, a mobile forward pack designed to run their opponents ragged were key, with players such as Jean Alsa, Johan Lowe and Merva Oliveira amongst the tight 5 proving decisive. Niels Valschenk at 8th man was the team's leader, and the maturity showed on the field of play to lead his teams from their first loss in many years to the stunning win over Paul Boys will long be remembered. Niels will be continuing his rugby education of the Bulls and be left in no doubt about the impact he'll have on the game in the future. Jean Smith at Flav was another special talent who had a tough first game, but thereafter showed why he's one of the most highly rated Flavs in the country. Gert Steyn moving from centre to fullback was a stroke of genius. He's a natural playmaker and will hopefully be treated better by the junior box setup than he was by the SA school selectors. As always, expect Gray to have another exceptional year in 2022, with players returning such as Jean-Ray Breitenbach, Jay van Heerden, Lucas Meyer, Caleb Abrahams, as well as Alec McIntyre and Pacey Alfonso Isaacs. And in first place, we have Paul Gymnasium. Now, of course, it should be no surprise that the team that ended Grey's unbeaten run would be our number 1 ranked team for 2021. At age group level, this year's grade 12s were never really seen as a number 1 ranked outfit. Sure, there's always talent, as there always is at Paul Gym, but there were certainly a few gaps within the team that needed to be filled for them to be a complete team. Now into the Paul Gym rookies, the class of 2022. A generationally gifted team, not only in a Paul Gym sense, but in a South African sense. Strength, depth and quality throughout their ranks, and a group who has never tasted defeat. It was them that would go hand in hand with the Matrix to create a devastating force that would have no doubt dominated the regional landscape. Beating Grey may have been the cherry on top, but an 84-0 win over Gosfontein must go down as one of the most complete performances we have ever seen in a game of school rugby. The front row was immense. The extremely underrated trio of Blokkies Lavanya, Johan Lombard and Frankie Dos Reis was immense in every respect against Grey College, and with Joe de Toy and Henny Sieberhagen behind them, stood back from no team. Corné Beerts and Pierre van Staden did their work very quietly, but were still key members of the team, and just behind them, Michael Koch was yet another scrum off that shone through the season. Michael's form and the fact that he was not selected for SA schools just shows how much depth there is in the scrum off stocks for the future. JW Ellis had a few memorable games, and C.P. Kleinhans must surely be one of the most underrated centres in the country right now. Had the season gone on, one feels that there would have been teams knocking down the door to secure his signature. The rookies are a very special group, be left in no doubt about that. Luca Buckers, son of Luther, must be one of the most physically dominant players in the school game right now. The Tearaway was an easier selection for SA schools, and of course Logan Opperman and P.A. van Niekerk were another two that played some exceptional rugby and will be a devastating centre pairing come 2022. But the player most eyes will be on next year has to be Liam Kuhn. His distribution was way beyond his years, and his game management and tactical kicking were sight to behold. That powerful left boot has a huge future in the game, and no doubt he will be key to Jim's success next season. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Did you feel we got our rankings right? Let us know in the comments section down below. And as always, have a great week further. Cheers. Bye.